Hey everybody, welcome to the April 2019 Q&A in May. This is where we answer questions from you guys. We don't have everybody here today, but we have a pretty sizable crew. And let's just get right into the questions, shall we? Our first one comes in from Michael, and I think you guys are going to like this one. He says, hello, Easy Allies. In November of 2016, Final Fantasy XV was released. For the 2016 December Q&A, I asked what you wanted Final Fantasy XVI to be like. You answered my question, but now a few years later, I wonder if you've changed your mind. I'd still like the character style and graphics from Final Fantasy IX and the combat system from Final Fantasy X. Love and respect. What do we want out of Final Fantasy XVI?
Fantasy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Please.
Like
So
it's
bad.
that easy.
Please.
Yeah, I really want just like Final Fantasy IX. Something very traditional, classic, like 6.
Cuber.
The old ones, yeah.
Cuber.
6 has like a lot of
6 is
modern
sci-fi, yeah.
stuff.
And
They kinda
mainly
all do.
9. Mainly 9. Like a new type that's like 9.
Well,
like 4 maybe 2.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I think what I said back then, which I mean will always be the dream game, is like somehow making like a living Amano art style, you know, that's something like maybe like similar to like a Nino Kuni or Okami or something like that, to where you just like really capture that art and how the game looks.
Damiani, how do you feel about the fact that like 14 kind of is that and is going really strong right now? So if 16, if 16 was traditional, would it be too similar to 14?
nope. Because one, Naoki Yoshida is probably going to be the one in charge of Final Fantasy 16 now.
Oh,
Final Fantasy 14's writing is fantastic, so I know that if that's true, that Final Fantasy 16 is going to have a fantastic story with no like glaring plot holes like Final Fantasy 15, which will be good. I want it to be fantasy, but I don't want it to be just like traditional like medieval fantasy. I want it to be. I want to see environments that look ridiculously insane. That like something you can never see on like Earth. Like that like look absolutely beyond imagination. And I see some of those in 14, and that's what I want in 16.
cool.
Like I absolutely want to say wow at like environments again, and not just be like, oh, it's just another desert. Oh, it's just like it's a giant open like field, like plains, like 15 zone. Like the world of 15 hardly made me go, oh, that's pretty like unique looking. It was good visual fidelity, but there were very few surprising environments in that game.
I really just want it to be one game. I don't want there to be a prequel anime. I don't want there to be a movie. I don't want there to be, you know, Noctis Returns, whatever. I just want to play a nice, long, meaty Final Fantasy, and then by the end of that journey, feel complete with it.
Do you think that's possible in today's day and age of the franchise?
Yeah, Dragon Quest XI says, what's up?
Yeah, I mean, to me, the completeness is what's important, right? Like you can have side stories and spin-offs and all of that stuff, but it can't make it feel like, oh, you're missing out if you don't do these things.
Yeah, I think Blood, you're right. That's more of what I'm speaking of. It's not that like, oh man, I hate side stuff completely. It's just I want to play the game and feel like I can be satisfied with that on its own. And then if I want to go farther than that, I can. For sure.
If you want to see Kingsglaive, you can.
Right.
I want in-depth chocobo breeding. I don't want any. I want it in depth. I don't want just racing that doesn't mean nothing. I want it all to mean something. Meaty side quest. Good rewards for it.
I want that original freaky chocobo design.
No. You kill that thing in a fire.
I do think that was one of the most disappointing things about Final Fantasy 15 for me was that fight, that like optional hard fight was really not
Yeah.
that exciting.
Yeah. Exactly.
But yeah. All right, cool. Good answers, everybody.
I'm
All
stoked about all of those answers. That's an exciting video game.
Yeah, a lot of expectation for 16. Next question comes in from Alexander. He says, "Hi, allies. This month you've talked in multiple shows about handling spoilers, and I want to use this Q&A to add my 2 cents. I think that fighting against spoilers is meaningless. Different people have different understandings of what spoiler is and when it's okay to talk about them. It's impossible to force everyone to think the same way, so spoilers will always be there. but while fighting them is hard and pointless, avoiding them is easy and effective. For example, I think I'm watching Game of Thrones on Monday evenings after going to work and staying online, and nothing is spoiled for me. I just don't go to those websites and don't follow those people who are likely to spoil stuff. Identifying them is easy since they spoil stuff regularly. Also, I don't Google the topic and thus give Google no reason to show me spoiler ads. I think that as content creators, you shouldn't worry about spoilers. Just be consistent with how you approach them in your various shows and streams, and the audience will figure out how to absorb and win. After all, no matter what you do about spoilers, someone will always be unhappy about it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. My experience with Game of Thrones is if you don't watch that show by 10 o'clock, you're gonna get spoiled. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe they just don't have to be on Twitter as much as we do, but it doesn't matter. Like, there's enough people following and retweeting and things recommended because somebody liked something that I don't even know the person. You know, like, yeah.
Well, yeah, he was just saying, just stay off Twitter until you watched it, pretty much.
Not always an option.
True, for us now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just like to play it safe, but I've never whenever we finish a podcast or something, if I felt pretty good about how we handled spoilers and someone disagrees, I'm not going to then reevaluate my performance. Like, if I feel good about it, I feel good about it. You know, if I'm like, trust me, you know, like something like a Days Gone or something that has like a story, people are like, oh, I didn't want to know that early part. It's like, man, that's you know, pebbles in a vast ocean of like the stuff I didn't show you in this review and the stuff we didn't talk about. Like, there's still a lot more there.
Yeah, it's one of those things that really gets under my skin a little bit because it's like we try so hard to balance that, like, you know, we don't want to spoil you on anything, but at the same time, like, we want you to know what the game is, what it's about. Yeah,
let it go, blood.
It's a tough balance, but I've had enough interactions with people where they were like really appreciative, and they were like, "Hey, thank you for that spoiler warning." Like Final Fantasy IX, when I did Hologrates, I spoiled a lot of really cool parts in that game, but before I said anything, I said, "Hey, I'm going to do this just so you know." And I don't think there's anything wrong with being considerate. That doesn't mean that you can't say spoilers, but there's no reason to be callous about it or to give people a heads up or a warning. It's not that hard. It takes a second. I don't think that is censoring ourselves or anything. I think it's just showing a little bit of courtesy, which I don't think is the end of the world. So yeah, that's just my take on it. I agree that you can and we can go too far in either direction, but like you said, Alexander, I don't think everyone's going to be happy, and that's okay.
No.
It's all about the balance.
Yeah.
Which I think we do a good job of.
Did that God of War review. I still, like, the one thing that people called out as a spoiler, I'm like, dude, you no idea.
Well, it's brutal to play a game at the same time as Huber because he cuts that spoil hammer like so quickly. Well, I'm just like 30 clips, come on, and like it ends up being enough, but I'm just like, oh man, I want to show that other scene or yeah.
First like few hours of a game, that's it. It's all you need.
That God of War footage, I was like, come on, man. There's nothing. It's good.
Our next question is from Michelle, and unfortunately it is for Kyle, who is not here right now. So he might show up later. I'll try to put a pin on this, and I'll try to remember. I may forget, but I'll put a pin on this since it is specifically for Kyle.
Nice.
Next one comes in from Brandon. Hello, allies. I've been really loving Mysterious Monsters. Thank you so much for getting that show up and running. Hubert, you're an excellent host, and I'm so glad that you get to live your dream. My question is, have the allies ever thought in the slightest taking that show on a tour anytime in the future? I know it's probably a really long shot of that ever happening, but I think it would be cool if you guys could ever get it to work out. As always, you guys are the best, and I hope the very greatest for everybody.
Of course.
We will need 15 more shops from IKEA.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That thing does not hold up to moving.
That thing had a rough go.
I haven't thought of that, but that'd be really really
why
intense.
not? Why not?
Just be really expensive.
Yeah. Maybe we'll rent out a little booth at E3, just host it in the corner.
Keeper, that would
That would be more
really
expensive than the tour.
I think some random anime convention would be even more perfect. You know, just something
Perfect.
so obscure. Most people like don't know you and like don't know EZA Allies. Like, come on in.
Oh man. What if the Resident Evil 3 remake is there, but to get to it, you have to go through Mysterious Monsters?
Just in front of the Capcom booth.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
wait.
Not affiliated with Capcom in any way,
Yeah.
but just blocking the booth. Yeah. Cool. Our next one comes in from Carl. He says, "Hey, allies, with Endgame having Stan Lee's final on-screen cameo appearance, what have been some of your favorite cameo appearances from Stan Lee? Is it something the MCU movies, or is it from a different movie? For me personally, I would say my favorite cameo came after he passed, and it was from Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. The timing of his passing and the context of the scene from the movie was such a punch in the gut, and it made me just miss the man even more. Other cameos that I loved included where he spoofs himself in Teen Titans Go to the movies, and where he's the announcer guy at the strip club in Deadpool. 1 month away from E3, get hyped, allies."
I think in Iron Man 2, he's Hugh Hefner.
Yeah.
He's like, "Hey, what's up, Hef?" And it's
don't remember
I think
that.
it's one of the quickest ones. And he just like what? Like turns around like really, really quickly, and like that's a good one. I also loved Spider-Man PS4. That really got me
Yeah.
because it's not really played for a laugh. Like it's a very serious. And Mary Jane's kind of like cool. Like doesn't kind of acknowledge him. Like clearly they don't have a relationship, so it's like it's really underplayed and was devastating at the time.
Gotta go with Mallrats, hands down.
Yeah,
The
that one
best.
popped into my head too. Here,
The
bro.
best. I always prefer an emotional cameo rather than a comedic one.
Oh, dude, The Simpsons. Where he's in The Simpsons, where he's trying to be the Hulk. That's like my favorite Stan Lee.
Nice. Damiani, Blood, you have any input on this?
I always love it. I don't have any particular ones that come to mind. I've still not watched half of those Marvel movies, so
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of running into the problem where I feel like I'm remembering ones, but I can't pin them to the movie, or they're kind of blending together a little bit. But yeah, always a treat for sure.
Captain Marvel's was also bittersweet.
That's
and very well done.
Yeah, that was my favorite one.
Yeah.
The title Marvel logo with just like all Stan Lee stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, there's that. I mean, that was incredible.
That was my favorite thing. Yeah.
Our next question comes in from Caesar. He says, "Hey, allies, same text as always, just a different system. I want to build a game and music library, and I'm counting on your wise input. Since we are dealing with over 30 years of gaming history, we'll be focusing on different consoles each month. This month will be focused on, the Super Nintendo. Keep in mind, it can be multi-platform games as well, so you can put whatever you want in there.
Super Castlevania 4.
Final Fantasy VI.
can you just get a
Chrono Trigger.
Wikipedia of like every
Yeah, let's just go.
Super Nintendo
Yeah,
game?
You ready?
Chrono Trigger.
Chrono Trigger,
Yeah,
Super
Chrono
Metroid,
Trigger.
Super Mario World, F-Zero, Mario Kart, A Link to
Final
the
Fantasy
Past,
6, Final Fantasy 4.
Donkey Kong Country, Mega Man
Jurassic
X,
Park.
Is this the
Star
greatest
Fox.
soundtrack console of all time?
Mega Man X,
Yep,
Mega
1
Man
through
X
3.
Well, yeah, Mega Man X 1 through 3, exactly.
Donkey Kong Country.
all the
1 through 3.
Fighters.
Yeah.
Street Fighter 2.
Well, X3 is weird musically, but it's all right.
Turtles
You
in
need it
Time.
for the collection,
Yep.
dude.
Yeah.
Pilot Wings,
Turtles in Time, dude.
Yeah, Pilot Wings for sure.
Can
all
you
the
even buy
Kirby
Turtles in
games
Time?
on there.
We get Secret of Mana yet?
No,
Yeah,
put it-
oh,
put
yeah.
it.
Secret of
for sure.
Mana.
Best thing about that game.
Correct.
And there's even
I
like
think it
Super
looks
Mario
pretty damn
RPG. Yeah.
Mario Paint.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
We didn't even say Zelda yet, did we?
Yeah,
No,
Link
we
to the
did.
Past. I
Did we
said,
say Mario
unless I'm
World?
muted. Yeah.
yeah, Mario
Yeah.
World
Okay.
already.
Sure.
Oh,
Did
God.
Yoshi have a good score?
Yoshi's Island.
Oh,
yeah.
Probably,
yes,
yeah.
Yoshi's Island. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. For sure.
Mm.
Oof.
We got F-Zero, right? F-Zero.
Yeah.
Oh,
Man, what a powerhouse soundtrack console.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
That was the focus, with Nintendo and Sony making that sound chip.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
was fun. It was like it's like I love Terminator 1 to Terminator 2, or like Escape from New York to Escape from LA, where like the same composer gets a chance to like do the score again with like more instruments, bigger budget, and like the Terminator 1 soundtrack's like the same theme as T2. It just like actually sounds good in T2. and is like much more like lasting like over time.
Mm.
And so like I think that was it. Like everybody wrote all these great themes, and then on the Super Nintendo, we're like, oh man, I can have channels and stuff. Like I can actually like blow this out.
ActRaiser, Yuzo Koshiro.
Yeah.
Street Fighter 2. Like man, that's very memorable music. Oof.
Just trying to look through. Oh, Earthbound. Holy crap! Yes. Oh my gosh, Kirby.
Now you just need $1,000 to buy all that.
Yeah.
The thing that still gets me about both Earthbound and Mother 3 are the amount of battle themes. It's insane how many new battle themes you come across.
Yeah.
And there's so many times where I just got to stop. I got to stop and listen to this battle theme because it is amazing right now.
It's awesome. It's like, no, we'll fight in a second. Just gotta listen to this.
Sometimes I wonder if my nostalgia for 16-bit era stuff is misplaced. It's not.
No, we usually go back and play them. They're all
Yeah.
still incredible.
Yeah, it's really good. All right, our next question comes in from KY. He says, is there any game or franchise that you think deserves a lot more attention than it currently has? Games that you know for sure people would love if they only gave them a chance. For me, it's the Trail series. These games have some of the best and most fulfilling storytelling and world building that I've seen in video games, yet it just feels like nobody has played them.
Before Mankind Divided, I would say Deus Ex.
The epilogue of Red Dead Redemption 2.
Okay.
I don't think a lot of people got there. I think the percentage to people who have played Red Dead and the people who play that epilogue is wide.
For don't skip, it's kind of giving me that perspective. Rocket Knight Adventures is always one that I think is really good, and a lot of people would enjoy if they played it. But the Silver Case, just a Suda game that it was interesting reading reviews on the Silver Case and being like, oh wow, I really don't agree. I think it's a lot better than these people are giving it credit for. Like I don't think it. Like yeah, it's a little old in some ways, but there was so much good and so much weirdness, and I think the characters were really well developed. I still need to play the 25th Ward, but Silver Case was pretty dope.
You know, a game like Wii Sports, where like you just kind of want everyone that you know to play it because you know it's great, and like you know everyone should try it at least. So like your parents, and your cousins, your brothers, and like everybody, you want to check it out. Like I feel that way about the Invisible Hours, which is on a VR game that's on. I think it's on everything now. And it's just one of those kind of experiments. And it's just like, I just want to see how everyone I know reacts to playing this and like what they want to do and what directions they decide to go in. I think it's really fascinating. I could sit and watch everyone I know play that entire game. Like that would be really fun. It's a crazy game.
To me, Life is Strange, the whole franchise. I think they're like must plays. Like it's one of those things where I would want like every single person to just play Life is Strange.
It sounds like a religion.
Yeah, dude.
Because
Because I feel like if everyone sat down and gave it the time, like 9.5 out of 10 people are gonna like it.
Sure, totally. Any other games, people?
I'm trying to look through and see if I get any ideas. Like I'm sure I'm always playing weird stuff, but nothing that's like jumping out at me at the second.
I should do. Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. I wouldn't say it's exactly underappreciated. Like I don't know if it quite qualifies for that, but man, I think Danganronpa is pretty awesome, and I like what a wild journey that game has been, and I think more people would like it if they could get to it. I just don't think people. I think it's hard to accurately summarize that game in a way that's enticing, and I think maybe people are scared by like the visual novel aspect or whatever. I don't know, but those games are cool. Go ahead, Brandon.
I should put my money where my mouth is and do a don't skip of Invisible Hours. I just had that thought.
Sure.
I've never done a don't skip before. I should get it done.
Always welcome.
Yeah.
Domani, you got anything?
Can't think of anything, honestly.
No, that's all
Sorry.
right. No worries.
He always plays the hits.
Next question comes in from Jesse. Hello, allies. I have a personal question. I have in the past only watched shows where the allies were seated, either at desks or on couches, but I recently watched the betting specials, Please Bring Back for E3, and realized that Huber is actually shorter than Brad. Not only that, he's shorter than Kyle, too. I guess maybe with his presence being so boisterous and jolly, or maybe he just sits up taller in his seat. I just thought he was the tallest of allies, second to Bloodworth, of course. My question is, how tall are each of you? And have you ever had a moment where your height or lack thereof was a problem or nuisance? Being 5'3" myself, I struggle with being too short on a daily basis, but sometimes being tall can have disadvantages as well, like when my 6-foot-tall brother tries to ride in my Mini Cooper. I thought it would be fun if you could share a quick anecdote. Love and respect.
Cue Huber Syndrome episode, or Huber Hype.
Yeah, from GT.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's been going around, I guess, because
That's
everyone's
definitive.
freaking out about how tall Ben is.
Yeah.
Is that a
people
Huber
freak
hype
out
or is
about
that a
tall.
mandatory update thing?
That
It
was
was
Huber hype.
Huber hype, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's Huber hype.
Yeah.
I'm 5'10", but I slouch into like 5'8". So I'm really like, yeah. Takes a couple inches off my bad posture.
And I'm 5'11", so I think it's like Damiani and me and Huber that are the shorter ones, and then like Ben, Brad, and obviously Blood's like the tallest.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
yeah, y'all are pretty tall.
I'm 6'2".
Yeah, we work with tall. Like EZA Height is tall.
Yeah.
Tall boys.
Yeah, I'm 6 foot, which seems to freak out people to a degree that I don't quite understand. Like I can imagine it. Like I get that it's surprising, but
Yeah.
the level of disbelief,
Oh my
That I
god,
see.
you're tall.
Yeah.
is a little
Ben-
weird.
I gotta say though, man, there are times because I don't so much anymore, but I used to listen to radio a lot. Like I grew up in like the 80s and 90s, so it's like radio was all I had. There's no music services or anything. So like seeing DJs for the first time was always like a horror show. It's just like whoa, like I had a whole image of like what that person was in my mind. So it's like sometimes I can only imagine like what kind of lens we give people like to view our weird little world and how they perceive. From like our knees on one show to like behind the desk on the other show.
When I think about it, like it makes sense. Like I'm a sloucher for sure. I have a baby face for sure, and so like I get it. I totally do. But it's also it's jarring for the audience, right? It's also jarring for me because like I know how tall I am. I'm used to myself, and so when people are like, "You're lying," why are you standing on a box? It's like, no, I'm 6 foot.
The amount of box comments on this episode, man.
Yeah, where like, I think it's one thing to be surprised. It's another where it's just like, no, like, why are you going to this level to deceive me? It's a little much. But it's
my height is a hilarious problem.
Yeah.
Like we always have to readjust the green screens. There's so many like. For every interview we did at GT, like I had to learn to like spread my legs apart as far as I could,
right?
So that you weren't looking at like the bottom of somebody's neck the whole time.
Right.
I took a hilarious photo from GDC 3 years ago when I went into the hotel room and like the shower head was like down like below my neck. Just even like chairs, like sometimes like I've just got to like figure out what to do with my legs because like my knees are up at such an angle as to be completely uncomfortable. Yeah.
Shout out to Daniel Bloodworth for towering through life.
Yeah.
All of us minions.
It wasn't until we recently this last year got a new bed that I actually fit on a bed.
Oh.
Just used to like having my legs go out and then having like a laundry basket or something.
Oh, brutal.
Our next question comes in from Rob Bob Will, and I like this one quite a bit. He says, "Hello, we all know Final Fantasy VI is undoubtedly in the Hall of Greats, but what hall would be ideal to hold Final Fantasy XIII? The Hall of Greats itself is obviously great, but unfortunately only allows for discussion of potential greats. If time and money were infinite, I'd love to see you all chat about some of history's more divisive games."
The Hall of Good Main Character Design Greats.
The Hall of Decent Teasers.
The Hall of 7.
All broken dreams.
The Hall of Sevens is actually really entertaining to me.
It
I
should
think
be a
that was
haul
super
though.
fun.
I think 7 deserves its own like something. You know
A wing.
the wing
Yeah.
of 7. The 7 wing, like the West Wing.
Yeah.
Like Beauty and the Beast, the 7 wing.
Yeah.
The 7's in glass, like suspended. I
Yeah.
told you not to come in here.
I do think seeing people argue about games passionately that they know are deeply flawed is really exciting. So I get wanting to see that for sure.
I've played more of 13 than I have of 15.
That's okay.
I
Buddy.
don't know what that means. It doesn't mean anything.
You
got us,
probably
dude.
had time.
Yeah, I did for some countdown or something. I can't,
Well, there you
or Trailer Jones or Trailer Academy. Sorry. Back in the
Yeah,
day.
11 through 14 is my biggest Final Fantasy gap right now.
Well,
12 is so good.
Switch.
Switch on Switch. What would be the game that you would bring for like a Hall of Sevens?
For a Hall of
wing,
Sevens?
A wing of sevens.
Dude, I'd put Days Gone in there immediately.
Hell yeah, Brad.
Good.
Hall of Sevens.
Oof. All right, this is where my review sorting is gonna.
Wolfenstein was our top, but I wouldn't classify that as a quote unquote 7. That was a game trailer 7, but I don't consider that like a actual 7 in the true sense of the word.
I'm putting the order in there. 1886.
That's a pretty
Like,
game.
starting out divisive. I think that fits this question.
Maybe like Tenchu Z or something, you know, like one
I
of the
don't even
late
know if that's a 7, Joe.
That's why it's so much fun to argue.
I know.
the later Tenchus, you know, one of those, you know,
It's
one
like
of those
a
that actually
6 territory, like a sweet 6.5 in the best way.
I think I would try to make a case for Earth Defense Force 5.
Sure.
Oh, Knack 2 is in there.
Knack 2.
Dude, Knack 2 is 8.
Dude, Knack 2 is like the
Dude,
lord of the
you
wing.
reviewed Knack 2. That's a 3.5.
Yeah.
3.5? We need a rescore. I was on
Blinded.
something.
No.
Yeah.
No, you were right, man.
Dude, Metacritic 69. Almost.
Wait, Knack 2 got a 69?
Metacritic, yeah.
That is the most appropriate score.
actually getting a 69 is kind of horrifying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Has Sea of Thieves surpassed the 7 range yet?
I haven't played yet.
Well,
I've played
apparently
a
people
lot.
are really into this new update. They're
Yeah.
like, hey, it had some pretty substantial stuff, some cool story stuff.
Quests and stuff. Yeah, like PvP stuff too.
I don't know the details, but people seem really excited about it, and I was like, oh,
That's nice.
that seems cool. Yeah, for sure. Okay, our next question comes in from Angelo. He says, hey there, allies. Don't have a good question, but I have this one. Who is the best girl and best boy in Final Fantasy?
Mhm.
Ugh.
We're all going to have like a lot of different answers.
Tifa,
Yeah.
best girl.
Yeah, I'm with you, Huber.
Tifa's the best.
What about
how do-
Lightning, though, Huber?
Garnet is probably my favorite.
Garnet's pretty. Yeah,
Lightning
I'll
is
go,
like
I'll go
above
Garnet.
it all, Brad.
Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, Brandon. Garnet is probably my favorite girl.
Obviously, Terra, I'm partial to. Just
Tina.
Terra's extremely powerful. Terra can whoop some ass. Certainly by the end of that game, she's not a whole lot she can't do.
Best boy is Balthier.
Whoa.
That's a
Both
good one.
here. That's a good
Balthiers
pick.
Balthiers a good pick.
He's just
I'm-
Han Solo.
I'm kind of partial to Zach for
Zach's very good.
some reason. Yeah, I
Zach's
just like
very
Zach.
Everyone likes Zach.
Yeah, I like Zach.
Best girl, Rydia.
Mm.
Which it's still, to me, it's like, it's really cool. Like, just like to have had that early interaction where, you know, you're kind of protecting her, and then she comes out of nowhere and like saves you the last minute, all grown up. Boy, I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards Cyan right now. Cyan's
Mm.
Nice.
Cyan.
Punish dad.
Dude, I feel like if you were in the Final Fantasy world, you would be Cyan. I do. I feel that way.
No one picked Lightning. That's not mine.
We talked about that.
She's above it, dude.
She's above it.
Too high.
She's not in this conversation. She's
Okay.
looking down from
She's
above
ascended, yeah.
on this conversation.
Hey, Brad.
Yes.
You know, I have issues with Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
Sephiroth rules.
He's awesome.
Sephiroth is a
One of the
really great
best
character.
villains of all time, baby.
Oh yeah.
When I did that
I
research for the
think I'm just Googling image right now.
when I did that research for the retro, I was like, "This is a great RPG character, man! Like this, I love this guy."
Yeah, dude, he's
I love
awesome.
I was so hyped for Advent Children, it was insane, and I hadn't played Final Fantasy VII, and I was like, I cannot wait to see how this story wraps up. I just do the story because I like
Hell
did all the reading.
Dude, the Advent Children,
we also need like a best other. Like
Red
Tomorrow
13, Nanaki.
and Mog and freaking
Vivi,
Kyle,
dude.
Ina.
Kyle
Vivi.
hates Mog, so
Vivi, end of
Hell.
story.
Like
I
Quina?
love
Is that-
Moogles.
Yeah.
Moogles are great.
But yeah, I
Yeah,
think you're right.
Moogles are the
Vivi
best.
might be the best out of those.
Oh yeah, Vivi for sure.
Like Fat Chocobo. Definitely needs to be there.
Sephiroth as a
Well, I mean, party-
Sekiro boss would be the greatest thing.
He just hits you from so
Yeah,
far
the
away,
range.
man.
Dude.
Range. Not fair.
All right. Oh, also, just Angelo did say both mainline and spin-off stuff like Vagrant Story as well. So if there's anything you want
Oh.
to
spin-off.
All right. Next question comes in from Richard. Howdy, allies. Back again with another survival horror question. One period of time that really interests me is when Nintendo acquired the Resident Evil exclusivity on the GameCube. Yes. There's a special atmosphere to those games. Remake, RE0, and RE4 all have a high-quality aesthetic. They exude class, and I can't help but feel this is in some way owed to the GameCube. They really stand out in the system's library, not just based on quality and aesthetic, but thematically and in their marketing presentation. On one hand, it's fairly transparent that Shinji Mikami had a falling out with Sony at some point and wanted to move Resident Evil to another system, and yet I find it interesting that Mikami alone had enough clout to make the move without Capcom overruling him to boost their cross-platform revenue. I was wondering if Damiani, Blood, or anybody had any particular insight into this time.
I mean, Resident Evil was part of the Capcom 5 deal. When Capcom announced that there would be like 5 exclusives for GameCube, when Nintendo was trying to like fight back against like all the big third-party AAA games weren't coming to their system, and like Sony had scooped them up. It was like, what was it? It was
Beautiful Joe.
Beautiful Joe, Project Number 3, Killer 7, Resident Evil 4, and it was one game that never came out. Dead Phoenix. Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
And as part of that deal as well, Nintendo or Capcom felt like because RE4 was going to be exclusive to GameCube, they wanted to put out the older games. So you got 2, 3, and Code Veronica, like just OG versions ported to GameCube, and then you got Remake eventually, and then you got a RE0 as well.
Wasn't Resident Evil 0 originally an N64 project? Or am I mixing it
I
up with something else?
believe it might have been.
Yeah.
I don't know as much about RE0, honestly.
Wasn't Remake before 4?
They weren't they the same? They were in, I
Yeah.
think it was like
One was before.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Okay, yeah. Then the announcement was like in 2002. So when did Remake came out? Oh yeah, because RE4 took longer to come out. That's why RE4 had to get like re-scrapped. That's why Remake came out first. It was originally not supposed to come out first. Yeah.
I think. I mean, GameCube did have a technological edge over the PlayStation 2, so I think that may be one reason they looked a little bit more premium in a way. Although there was still the disadvantage of disc size, but they had discs at least. But yeah, otherwise, I don't know, man. I think if Resident Evil had been on PlayStation 2 exclusively instead, it might not have been that different.
Well, the way everything went down was so perfect because it came out a year later on PS2 with extra stuff. So it was like the best of both worlds.
Perfect
like,
for PS2 owners.
Yeah, it was
for GameCube fans that were rooting for the system, for that to be announced before the game even came out. It was like a punch in the gut.
Well, that was the whole thing. Wasn't that the whole thing about Kamiya saying like we'll never break the exclusivity or something? And it was announced before. Like he promised he'd like what?
Mikami? cut his head off with like a chainsaw.
Something like some extreme thing. And then it's like, because it was not his decision. It was high above him making that call. But yeah, I mean, it all worked out in the end too, because then like the definitive, like arguably the best featured version came out on Wii anyway, and I think that's like one of the best selling ones as well. So
still re-releasing all those games.
Yeah, they keep and it's going to Switch, and it's got a Capcom tax with it now.
The PS4 or the new generation of Zero has that like Wesker mode and stuff. It's crazy.
It's cool though, Hubert. They're all gonna get remade like Resident Evil 2 anyway. So
man, I just keep thinking about Resident Evil 3 remake and like what they can do to Jill. Just like flesh her out even more. Just give her like even more like
character.
Just grow her character even more. Like remake 3, make it happen. Because like I want her to come back in Resident Evil 8. I feel like Resident Evil 8
should be
like,
her and Chris or something like that.
So you remake 3, lead into 8.
I mean, you're probably going to be on the RE dev team soon, so make it happen. Man.
In my dreams.
Next question comes in from DRD 7 of 14. He says, "Hey there, allies. Disney just recently added Star Wars Battlefront Classic to Steam and Good Old Games. Last year, they added Episode 1 Pod Racer to the same services. I personally love this sort of practice of bringing classic games to modern digital platforms, even as straight-up ports, and giving it 1 year between each port creates some excitement. What are some older games that have rested for too long that you'd love to be brought back for today's crowd?"
TIE Fighter.
Yeah, good answer, Brandon.
Please.
It's not old, but I'm still clamoring for a Dead Space remaster. Come on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Please.
for sure, man.
Please. And Mass Effect. Like a Mass Effect remaster. I know they're not super old, but like both of those games, it's weird that they haven't been remastered.
Anything Dead Space would be nice.
Mm-hmm.
I would like an official English release for Shin Megami Tensei 1 and 2. It's awesome that there are fan translations, and I should probably just play those. But I think having it on an official translation on a modern platform would be nice.
It's crazy that I don't have to say Shenmue.
I mean, I feel like I've just brought this up recently, but Skies of Arcadia.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a tragic story for Skies of Arcadia that I'm sure I've shared before, but I didn't get the opportunity to play it on Dreamcast, but I got the GameCube version, and I had sort of started it, but not gotten that far. Let a roommate borrow it. In some mysterious way, like we've never been able to figure out, like the disc disappeared out of his GameCube. Like somebody just sniped the disc only. And so I still had the box, but not the disc. So I never got to finish it.
It ain't right.
Now the GameCube version is like, what, hundreds of dollars or something crazy?
Yeah. Damiani has it.
The Skies Arcadia GameCube. Yes.
I lost my Dreamcast copy. It's gone.
GameCube version has less random encounters, so it's probably better.
Bring it back. Come on.
Bring it back.
Damn it. God,
Bring
why do you
it
have to bring
back.
that up, Bloodworth?
That designer just got a award, some kind of lifetime achievement or something at GDC.
Can we get a Metal Gear Solid 1 remake already?
We got one.
Sorry, just
That troll has multiple layers to it.
Yeah.
apparently there's a tweet of David Hayter and Kiefer Sutherland
I saw
together,
that.
and it says the twin snakes. I'm like, stop!
Yeah.
Stop this! Cease this immediately!
I got to do a redemption stream. 13, the game that effed me, is getting a remaster.
Oh yeah,
That cell shaded shooter.
Yeah.
I couldn't beat
yeah.
because I couldn't stealth through the submarine because I ran out of crossbow bolts. I got to do a redemption stream.
Another game where you start with amnesia at the beginning.
Yep.
I don't know why all of, like the 3D Zeldas aren't on a modern day thing that we can get easily, like Switch or something. Even like Mario Sunshine, man, only GameCube.
Wait,
Sort it out.
all the
you know?
3D Zeldas? What?
Yeah, like why can't I get like Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Skyward Sword, Twilight Princess, Wind Waker, all on, like
Skyward
Switch?
Sword is on Wii U digitally if you want to buy it. And then everything else after that has HD remasters on Wii U as well.
Yeah, I like Wii U sucks, Dom. That's what I'm talking about. I don't want the
It's not gonna,
Wii
like
U.
those games aren't gonna look any better on Switch.
I want an HD version of them, Dom. Is what I'm saying. Like Skyward Sword looks bad, dude. When you
Oh
put
yeah,
that up on a
I
TV.
don't want them to ever touch Skyward Sword again. They can leave it alone.
Oh my
But-
god.
Okay.
Come on, Damiani.
Okay,
Come
time
on,
Majora's
dude.
Mask.
Yeah,
I think they can definitely put those on. Take
Come
the
on,
3DS versions and make those like 1080 or something. I'd take that.
Damiani, where do you rank Girahim?
Girahim's good.
Where
Good
do
villain.
you rank him?
I don't know, like higher up.
Higher up. All right, I like it.
Higher up.
Higher up.
I like
Higher up, dude.
I liked about it, but everything always comes down to I don't want to spoil stuff if people haven't played it. So
Cool.
Yeah.
Next question comes in from Trung. He says, "Hello, allies. A single game without spin-offs, prequels, sequels, and is at least 10 years old. What game is popping up in your mind?"
Shadows of the Dead. Is it 10 years old?
Shadows of the Dam is a great answer. I don't know. There's a lot here that are on the edge for me, like Binary Domain.
Binary Domain.
Roddy out of stories.
Enslaved Odyssey to the West.
Shadows of the Dam is 2011.
Damn it.
When was
Journey.
Mind Jack?
Yeah,
Mind Jack.
That game was so bad. I feel like that game needs a group stream just to like.
Too human.
Dude.
That's got to be more than 10 years old, is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 2007.
man, Jet Force Gemini popped up into my head.
Nice.
No sequels, spin-offs, or anything. It fits the criteria of being more than 10 years old.
Dante's Inferno. I always thought we'd get another one of those, but we never did. Dante's Inferno was pretty fun.
It might have actually set up a sequel.
They probably
Sure.
did.
Oh, no, the best. I mean, it's original Xbox, but Advent Rising, it always cracks me up. That's probably one of the biggest, like, get ready for a trilogy, oh wait, never minds I've ever seen.
Oh, what was the Kingdoms of Amalur stuff?
Oh,
Kingdom of Amalur, yeah.
Yeah, man, Kingdoms of Amalur had so much potential.
Yeah.
What the? I'm
Uh,
glad you brought that up.
I think Crimson Skies didn't get any kind of sequels.
I don't think so.
13.
Puppeteer. Give me more of that.
Oh,
Yeah. I don't know if it's quite 10 years old, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it is either.
It's hilarious because I was going to do a Syndrome episode on this very topic. Spoilers.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like characters that were introduced, like franchises that were very character heavy, but like that was it.
Eternal Darkness.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, that's
Yeah.
the best answer so far.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was on my Syndrome list. I was literally brainstorming for this
Oh,
exact
that
topic.
game. The game is so good.
And well, I know this had like additional DLC, but like I really want Alan Wake to fit this. Like I don't really count New Nightmare.
Yeah,
American
totally. That was a whole that you could.
Yeah,
It was its own
yeah.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
They had
they
other
tried to franchise Alan Wake. No.
Yeah, sort like similarly, like Okami got that DS sequel.
Yeah,
Oh,
Kami did.
Kami Den.
And Knack is now officially a franchise, so you can.
Ugh.
So Knack. That's it.
Body Harvest.
Body
We're
Artist.
done.
Space Station,
What?
Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next
Buck
question
Bumble.
comes in from W52. What are you most hyped about for E3?
Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Show me through.
Jedi Fallen Order. Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing, then Jedi.
Breath of
it's
the Wild
close.
2.
They're neck and neck.
Dominic, no! Stop saying that.
But I feel the same way about Final Fantasy VII Remake, man. Like, if that's there, then that's my most excited thing. But I don't know.
It's time, dude.
I really haven't thought about it much, but yeah, like now that E3 is getting closer, I'm like, oh yeah, Cyberpunk's gonna be the back
Oh yeah, dude.
in a big way.
Quietly just killing it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be incredible.
Hey,
It's gonna
Blood,
look even better.
is Animal Crossing going to be 83, Blood?
Say no this time, Blood.
The funny thing is now that they've announced it's this year, kind of.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Does it?
It will be.
Does it have to be?
Yes.
Does it have to be?
Yes.
Brutal.
I'm really excited to see what Microsoft is going to do, honestly.
Oh yeah, all those studios they picked up. See what they're working on.
Yeah. I think
I bet they're pretty stoked going
in
to
a
E3.
interesting position for sure.
I still don't think most of them will show this year, but I think that Compulsion and Ninja Theory could have a tease.
Yeah.
Bill Spencer said they would all be there talking about their progress.
That doesn't mean they'll show a game though.
Yeah, that could just
True.
Dev diary.
And like what Obsidian, like they're in the middle of that other game right now.
Outer Worlds. Yeah.
Dude, yes.
Mhm.
Was Control during Xbox last year?
No, that's
No.
PlayStation.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll probably be in Xbox this year, right?
Maybe. They were with Xbox
Maybe,
last
I
two
mean-
games, so maybe they're going with Sony now.
I wonder.
Even
Well,
though they're
I
not
mean,
there.
It's a multi-platform game, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
whatever.
it's just, if Sony's not doing anything.
Yeah.
If Xbox passed on their game as publisher, then are they going to feature them? I don't know.
Yeah, even if we're not going to cover the Sony conference at E3, we should have that list handy of like every game that was at Sony's last year to see who jumped ship. Unless there's like a Sony press conference like 5 days before E3 or something. Then never mind.
Oh well, that you guys got that Square Enix conference and concert.
Oh
Yeah, dude, that's what I was saying, Bloodworth. It's time.
E3.
Next question comes in from Joey. What game has your favorite story?
Resident Evil.
Silent Hill 2. It's not the most original answer, but it's what my favorite one is.
It's Witcher 3 pretty easily.
It's Witcher 3. It's Witcher 3.
Probably Final Fantasy VI for me, but that's such an easy answer. God, I don't know. That's an interesting question.
Bloodborne's one of my favorite off the top of my head.
Last of Us probably is up there. Top 5.
Yeah, it is.
Hell yeah, it is.
Just trying to think about being like rewarding, you know, like when it's over, being like, yes, like that was such a ride emotionally.
I don't know why, but stories just made me think of Half-Life 3 never coming out, and how I feel bad for everyone that loved those games.
It's coming out.
It's not coming out.
There's
either.
no doubt in my mind, dude.
Dude,
Half-Life
after-
3 will come out. It is-
after in like a
100%.
book, maybe. Dude,
even
after
if
like,
it's 10 years from now.
bro, they're doing stuff like Artifact instead.
Dude,
No.
I want to put that on your headstone. Like,
It's coming.
it's coming.
Guaranteed. Especially now, dude, when they're like not literal stock, but like their public image has fallen.
It's been
Epic Games
fallen
is
forever.
Yeah, Epic Games is encroaching now. Artifact was a failure. Now is the time where Valve is like, all right, shit. Now is the time. We got to make a game again. Now's the time. We're not.
They're just pulling levers, like, all right, code red.
Yep.
It's a time.
I think they would just make Dota 3 or Portal 3 over that.
Dude, it's coming. Guaranteed.
Visual novel form.
I would take it.
I know you would.
I kind of would want Left 4 Dead 3 before I want Half-Life 3.
I know you would
Sure.
too.
Yeah.
They're making a game though. What is that thing called?
Oh yeah, they're. Oh, dude, what was it called?
Back for Blood or something like that?
Yeah, something
Yeah.
like that. Back for Blood.
All right, Supernova Smith asks, what are your predictions for PlayStation VR 2? Price point, features, release window relative to the PS5, same time, year after, etc.
$400 wireless.
Yeah.
$300 version that's wired, maybe. It's like lower budget one.
I don't think it can be wireless and connect to the PS5, can it?
We don't know.
Bluetooth. I don't know.
Is that quick enough?
Yeah, I don't
know.
But at the same time, I would wait until it was ready. Like that would seem to be a logical jump. The other thing too is that when the PSVR first came out, everything was kind of clunky. Like the Vive and Oculus were also kind of like just getting started with their models, and like especially Oculus. I haven't tried the latest Vive, but the latest Oculus is just dreamy. Like you just slip that thing right on. It's so comfortable and so light, and like so the PSVR is kind of like has kind of a Fisher Price vibe, like by comparison. And so like it'd be nice if they had something that like felt good in your hands, felt good putting on, felt good while it was on your head. It was just like a nice cozy thing. Because I think that's the win for the future. Like people definitely want that to be
higher resolution. Needed.
Yeah, but they didn't have it so far, and I think if they get the best games, it's kind of like the Switch. You know, it's like as long as the Switch gets exclusive, really unforgettable experiences, it doesn't matter if it's not the best. Because I wonder if chasing that's just way too expensive, you know?
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be as good as Vive and anything like that, but it needs to be better than what it is.
Oh, sure, yeah. Yeah, improved screen, possibly go wireless and cozier.
Yeah,
but,
I think that if it's possible, it would be pretty cool if they could make something that is more of a hybrid that, like, does the best of both worlds. So, like, you could have, like, a Quest-like experience where, like, everything is just in the headset, or if you want higher fidelity, more power, okay, plug into the PS5.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they do a thing too, considering it's going to be way more successful than the Kinect, but it'll have kind of like a packed in, I imagine, vibe with the PS5 where like at the launch of the PS5, they're going to talk about PSVR a lot, you know, and be like, we're going to be expanding this in the future. And I wouldn't be surprised if like exclusive games on the PS5 have some kind of like, you can play it in PSVR and it does something like either like it looks really great or just some kind of reason to do that. I wouldn't be surprised because like they're talking about backwards compatibility stuff now and like to have like exclusive PS5 titles already packed into all the technology that they do. I wouldn't be surprised if PSVR is included in that.
How much of the resolution is a limitation of the VR unit itself versus the PS4? Like
no idea.
I'm
just
curious.
The headset. It's a cheap headset. Like it's
sure, but I just wonder if they're limiting things based on the PS4's power. If we plug those games in on the PS5, all of a sudden everything's going to look better.
Sure, that would be cool.
Shadow2222 asks, "What is your favorite non-gaming event that you've been to? This could be a festival, concert, etc."
Hollywood Bowl's pretty great, just regardless.
Yeah.
Just grew up in LA, so I've been there so many times, and I love it so much.
When I was in high school, I went to Ozfest, and it was one of the best experiences of my life because I was just really into metal at that time, and I hadn't really been to a lot of shows, and so it was one of the first things that I went to. And there were a lot of lesser-known bands that were there that had no barriers. Like they would just hang out and you could just go and talk to them and they would sign stuff and they would talk to you about whatever. And it was just cool. It was just very down to earth and super chill. Everybody was relaxed. Everybody was friendly. That was a good ass time. I don't know if I'll ever be able to have a moment quite like that again.
Avengers Endgame.
The episode 1, The Phantom Menace. To be honest, that was an event.
That was
a huge deal. I don't think I've ever been so pumped for a movie, existing. And woof, boy, sorry, Blood.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to rack my brain if there's other examples, but yeah, I think like similar to Ben, like I went to the Cornerstone Festival in 2000, and that was the same kind of thing where there's just like stages all over the freaking place, and like all kinds of niche genres of music represented as like, so you've got heavy metal and punk rock and goth and freaking dance club and then like people that weren't even, like signed on to like play a stage officially would just like set up in the parking lot and start playing, and it's just like, yeah, like those scenes are really great.
$60,000 goal. EZA Heights goes to Burning Man.
Oh my god.
No.
No, thank you.
Dude,
Kyle Bossman does stand up at Burning Man.
oh my god.
Oh my.
That would have to be like a final Easy Allies event. Like,
Yeah.
we're not one
Yeah,
way or
that's it.
another.
We
we're
know
not
the
calling
meteor's
that.
coming. Well, we got a week left.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Might as well.
That's it, dude. Okay. Next question comes in from Ulf. He says, I have been really enjoying solo top 10s by Kyle and would love to see everyone do their own versions. If you had a solo top 10 video, what would the topics be? For example, I really want to see Huber's least favorite 10 out of 10s.
Sure.
Done?
I like it.
I've actually been thinking about this.
yeah, I got one locked and loaded. I want to do one this year.
Or do you not want to share because you have it locked and loaded?
Right.
Yeah, and we talked about
Problem.
it at the meeting. So yeah, I want to save that one.
I don't know when I'd be able to do this or if I'd be able to do this, but the idea that I had for a personal top 10 is top 10 things that every JRPG should have, because like so many have some quality of life improvements, but not others. And yeah, I think I could compile a pretty compelling list of shit the genre just needs to standardize.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
I think I'd do something goofy and just
Probably wouldn't
rank,
rank the reviews, but what's up?
rank Kingdom Hearts characters or something like that.
Nice, goofy. get it?
Axel would be high, Huber. Don't worry.
Can you just rank Goofy like
Yes,
throughout all the
I
games?
could. In every world, Goofy,
Yeah.
Top 10
his
King
Just
mindset in
rank
every
Goofy.
world.
Yeah. Brad, that is a really good idea, man. Okay. Next question comes in from David. And if you guys have anything else, feel free to just chime in and let me know. Next question comes in from David. He says, Allies, best Bruce.
Oh, Bruce Wayne, man, come on.
I mean, that's just one that pops in my head.
Bruce Wayne.
The
Like Bruce
from
Lee,
Finding Nemo.
obviously, because Bruce
Yeah.
Lee is like a real person, but like, I think Bruce Wayne would beat Bruce Lee. I think he could do it.
A fictional character could beat a real life character.
Yeah.
You got Bruce Banner, Bruce, Bruce,
Yeah.
Bruce Tim, Batman.
Bruce Timm's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
picking Bruce from Finding Nemo. That great white's pretty
Uh,
Fish your friends, not food.
wasn't Braveheart Robert the Bruce? Is that right?
Yeah.
Robert the Bruce.
Robert the Bruce.
Bruce Springsteen, Bruce Willis.
Oh,
Bruce Willis.
Sorry, I'm just going.
Bruce
the list.
Bruce Wayne. Batman is my favorite superhero, so that's tough. I'm actually a pretty big Bruce Springsteen fan. Or I should say, I think the album Born to Run is perfect. But yeah. Jones, do
Bruce-
you like Bruce Springsteen?
I do. In a classic sense. My mom's a big Bruce Springsteen fan. Bruce Dickinson. Bruce Campbell. Definitely Bruce Campbell for sure. Bruce Greenwood, who voiced Batman a couple times.
Huber, yours has to be Bruce Wayne, right?
Bruce Wayne. It's got to be.
Gotta be. It's gotta be.
Bruce.
Yes.
Can we get a Gotham check-in? How's Gotham?
Gotham is over.
It's over. We're done. Yeah.
How was the finale?
To
Not
me, perfect.
Bud, what did you say?
not good.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I haven't gotten the blood
Let's
take
go,
yet.
dude.
Just wrong.
Oh.
Loved it.
It was
Yeah,
just
so
this
many
weird
Excellent.
mashup
Okay.
excuse of putting everyone into costumes you'd already recognize.
Well, I mean, it was an epilogue. So the episode before that was like the one true finale. It's like they had two finales, and I really appreciated that. It was more of a beginning. It was like I treated the final
Prologue?
episode as like the season premiere of a new show or the epilogue of this show.
They intentionally stuck a really bad mustache on Gordon.
But they made fun of it. That's why
Yeah, I
it was
know.
cool.
It was
Oh, it's
quite cool though.
You hurt me, blood.
But that's the weird thing too is they changed the actress for Catwoman, and then they didn't show Bruce at all.
It's not Bruce Wayne anymore.
It's still Bruce Wayne. That's the big that's but okay.
Just for that episode, I mean.
Thank you for that Gotham check-in. Next
good.
question comes in from Liz. Hello and happy weekend. Are there particular tastes, textures, or smells that instantly turn you off of a dish? Would you please share what they are? Here, I'll start. Once I went to a really nice restaurant and they served the Caesar salad with 2 big pieces of anchovy right on the top. I squeaked when the waiter put it down, and my husband was kind enough to take the fish away and hide it. Thank you for sharing. Love, luck, and lollipops. Taste, texture, smells.
I'm not a big fan of popping things. I don't like boba. I don't like grapes are delicious, but I don't like things that just like in your mouth, like tomatoes, like just like a little tiny tomato. Like no, it's like an eyeball.
Brennan, I feel the same way, but 2 of the things that you mentioned, boba and tiny tomatoes, I really like. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to revisit this.
And I like grapes, so there's no logic to it. It's madness.
I love food.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10, dude. Food is a 10 out of 10.
Sustenance.
Yeah.
That
Did you
dopamine
say
rush.
10 out of 10? Like just all food? Water, 10 out of 10.
Yeah, it really depends on how it's prepared and stuff.
Oh,
Jeez.
Oxygen can't get enough.
I'm trying to think of what other textures annoy me.
The one I love like mozzarella sticks or fried cheese, whatever you call it where you're from. Like stuff like that. I like stuff like that, but I hate swallowing it sometimes because like it will like part of it won't be like fully detached. And like I hate that, and like I love sushi, but there are some places that make rolls too big, and the nori will like get stuck. Like I hate it. There's times when I eat stuff that's very sticky, and it gives me a choking sensation, and I really hate that. But like the food still tastes good. Yeah.
Cool. Ibrahim asks, hey, Allies and Papa Jones, will The Last of Us Part 2 release on Outbreak Day, September 26th, or Mother's Day 2020, May 10th? The reason I ask because the first game came out on Father's Day and Left Behind came out on Valentine's Day.
Weird.
It depends if Ghost of Tsushima is out first or not. One of them's going to be this year.
Well, dude, I don't think Last of Us is coming out this year. So next year. But maybe. I don't
They
know.
finished
I don't
shooting
know.
though. They're teased that much.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not getting my hopes up. This way I can't be disappointed. It just feels far away, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, they just haven't shown a lot of it yet. We saw it a year ago, like actual gameplay last E3 though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. I feel like I usually feel how you feel, but The Last of Us doesn't feel that far away from me. Like I can believe in a 2019 release. I could also see it getting delayed. Like neither would shock me though.
Yeah, Sony's pretty into having their March releases. I feel like Last of Us feels closer than Tsushima.
Probably, yeah.
Oh, I think Tsushima, dude.
I feel like we've heard less about
Yeah,
Tsushima.
we've seen
Yeah.
next to nothing of
It wouldn't
Tsushima.
tell me anything about that game.
Yeah.
True.
We saw a real pretty demo, and they said it was open world, but he did not walk very far in that demo. So
Tsushima could be like far away.
That could be like the March game or whatever,
Yeah.
or January, something.
yeah, I would be surprised if Sony has a couple sneakeroos left on the PS4, and then the PS5 just completely takes 2019 off. It's just like, no, we'll talk about it, but next year's the big party. Spring is the big. Let's start next gen.
Hero, dude, PS5, NAC 3 could happen.
Heck yeah. 4-player co-op. 4 NACs.
I don't know if anyone needs that much
co-op.
NAC.
Only with GameCube controllers.
Battle Royale.
Dude, a NAC battle royale would like work.
I don't know about that.
Our
You're
next-
right. You're
Our next
right.
question comes in from Varun. He says, "Hey, allies, I was wondering what approach you take to calibrating the HDR/brightness on your TV. I'm guessing this is made more important because of the position you are in sometimes in terms of reviewing a game. When I was playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I kept looking at the setting thinking, is this the best possible combination? Is this representative of the creator's vision? What sort of things do you do to make sure the HDR/brightness settings are the best they can be for your platform? Or do I think about these things too much?"
When I got my TV, I went on a couple forums, like tech forums, and just tried to match my settings with a couple people's recommended. Did a little fiddling. That's pretty much all I do. Like, try to get it right out of the gate, like mix and match with some people, see what they say.
It's kind of what I did too.
And then,
Yeah.
Like that initial setup.
That I've done that. There's Gamers Nexus has some good especially for like monitors. Like I do it more with I don't really use a traditional television. I use like IPS monitors. And they have like videos on calibrating, but like I've always been told that like if you want like the best way to do it, like because those are other people's best things, you need to use a colorimeter, and like those cost like $100+. Like you just hold it up to your monitor and it'll basically help you calibrate it to what true color is supposed to be, like the most accurate. So like, I mean, I think things look fine on my monitors when I like compare things, but like if it ever got to that point, like I'd probably just like buy one of those. You know, if we were like way more tech focused, like I definitely have one of those.
Yeah, I haven't gotten a 4K TV yet, but I have two very highly skilled video friends that are not that far away from me.
Nice.
So I might be like, "Hey, you want to put some color bars on my TV and come over and tweak this thing?"
Excellent call.
Mike Hook asks, "What are your quick thoughts on Detective Pikachu and Sonic the Hedgehog films?"
Yes
I
and
think
no.
Trailers, because I haven't seen either.
It's pretty quick.
Yeah, yes and no. That's right.
I think they both look pretty hideous. I think specific Pokemon are passable, but overall, it's a gross direction for me.
I think I'm going to enjoy both immensely for polar opposite reasons.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm curious to see the director coming out and is like, "Hey, we'll fix Sonic's design." Like, what is that going to be?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think he's just kind of digging a hole. Like I think whatever happens is also going to disappoint, and then he's going to be even.
the immediate empathy towards all the people that have to do that on Twitter.
Of course, no, it's a bad idea all around. It's just,
I don't think they have the budget to do significant changes.
Stay the course. Cut your losses.
I think if anything, they might just make the eyes bigger.
Yeah, they'll touch the eyes and maybe the teeth issue.
Yeah.
Next question comes in from Master Pants. What is everyone's experience with the video game Snatcher, a Hideo Kojima game released on the West on Sega CD?
Never played it.
Always wanted to play it.
Yeah, never played it either, unfortunately.
That was it.
So there's a lot of problems with Snatcher in terms of access for me, where I never had a Sega CD, and then Snatcher, like getting a physical version of Snatcher is expensive.
Yeah, you're talking like $500+.
Yeah.
So it's always out of reach, and of course there are ways around that. But
is that the game where the main guy looks like is based on Mel Gibson from Lethal Weapon? Doesn't he? He's got like the mullet.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I love that era where like they just Metal Gear, they just grabbed Michael Biehn from Terminator.
Yeah.
Like, like Contra, they just grabbed like Arnold from the Predator. Like, yeah, and I love how I remember I think I played like the first half hour for the Metal Gear Retro.
No,
I thought it was like Blade Runner.
Brandon,
is what
it's like Blade Runner. Brandon, you're thinking of Police Knots. Which has more of the Mel Gibson.
Never mind.
Snatcher is more of the Blade Runner Harrison Ford look.
You're right.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's all I got.
Remaster, please.
Yeah. There you go.
If the only utensil you could use for the rest of your life... Oh, this is from Zat Von Doot. It could be either a fork or a spoon. Which would you choose? Reasoning not required, but may add to your score.
Spoon.
Yeah, spoon, because you can still kind of use it like a fork, whereas a fork you can't.
Yeah, I
Like
completely agree with
liquid?
you.
Yeah.
Man,
You-
I would do fork.
Oh,
You just get locked out of things.
Most of the soups I have, I don't even use a spoon for. Like I drink it from the bowl, so like that wouldn't really change anything. Picking up stuff with a spoon, like I don't know how you're gonna eat
Damiani,
chicken, like cutting up stuff. Like
how are
the
you going to
spoon
eat
is gonna be
ramen
like.
with a
I
spoon?
mean, use your hands, but like,
How are you going to eat ramen with a spoon, Damiani?
what do you mean? I use chopsticks.
That doesn't. No, we're talking fork or spoon only, excluding all other.
You could use the spoon to kind of the fork to like you do with spaghetti. You like twirl the noodles and eat it that way if you really had to. Like with a spoon, you're just gonna get like the broth.
True.
Like,
Yeah,
and,
I mean-
like, and the noodles are gonna slip out of your spoon. Like
True.
there's no
Yeah.
way you're eating ramen with a spoon.
He didn't say the size of the spoon or the depth of the spoon, and so you could. There are a variety of configurations of spoons that maybe.
Okay, then spork is the
Yeah,
answer.
can we have a sport?
Right.
Yeah, it's sport.
yeah. Is a spork more fork or spoon?
Because actually, I was thinking about stuff that's a little bit more in between. That would actually be the hardest. Like if you try, like think about like trying to eat like yogurt with a fork.
I mean,
You would get a bit of it, but a lot of it would still be kind of stuck in the container. You'd have to like
I don't-
pull it out with your fingers.
yeah, I don't eat yogurt, but like even like I don't really eat ice cream either. But like even I was thinking like things would be hard, like ice cream. There's been a time where I didn't have a clean spoon. I used a fork, and
Yeah.
as long as it's not super like runny, like it's been melted, it's totally fine to eat with a fork. Like it will work. Like I don't know. I feel like the ability to like poke things and like have a firm grasp on it, like this. I'm thinking about not just eating at home. I'm thinking about eating out, and like it's gonna be weird trying to eat some things without like the ability to like stick it. Essentially, especially if you can't use like if chopsticks is not an option, then it's
Yeah.
like you're kind of like what? How do I pick this up?
You just need a spike. You just need an ice pick, and you're good.
Yeah, there you go. Can I just use a knife?
When was the last time you used a spork?
I don't know if I've ever actually used one.
What?
Totally. Brad offended.
What? Come on, man.
That's possible, but okay.
I mean, sporks aren't that common.
They're
Like,
not.
I feel like
super uncommon though.
They're less.
Yeah,
I think
that's true.
common now, probably.
But I feel like sometimes, like, yeah, if you go to like a concession stand somewhere, and like they give you like the plastic baggie full of like,
There's always a sport in there.
yeah,
I don't know if it's still this way, but like KFC was way into sporks at one point in time, where you could go and like.
Maybe they did it. I just forget.
Yeah, it's all right. You don't have to hold on your spork memories all that tightly. Christian Thomas asks, salutations, council members. May I wish you lot a cheerful Star Wars day, and may the force be with the patrons. In regards to my question, which Star Wars character, either canon or extended universe, would you invite to share a few bevies with at the local cantina bar? And when given the opportunity, which party trick or deep truth would you influence them to reveal with your Jedi mind powers? Now I've got
Jedi mind powers. Okay.
Oh yeah,
Jar Jar, no question.
it's gonna be
What?
Jar Jar.
No,
Yeah,
I want
I like
to hear
it.
this.
I like this. Jones,
Brad.
go. Yeah.
I would get to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's nothing to get to the bottom of.
Then I would know. Then
Like, I know you're a Sith.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
You're just an idiot.
I want a nice stiff drink and just slide it across the bar at Jar Jar and be like, "Let's talk, buddy. Let's really." I don't feel anybody's ever really listened to you before. You know, like I'm here.
The Galactic
listen.
Senate listened to him, Jones.
And look where it got us.
Oh, that's
What a
good,
reply.
Brad.
What a reply.
I want to see Darth Maul drunk, man.
Darth Maul.
That's what I want to
That's
see.
a-
I want to
that's
see
a
him
funny
shit-faced. Yeah.
Wow.
Even though you couldn't like communicate that well with each other, I think Chewie would be pretty dope to drink with.
Chewie popped into my head as well.
Like Lando was the first thing I thought about.
Yeah, I mean, Lando, of course.
But,
Han was the first thing
Han.
I thought of, yeah.
Han's too much trouble, man.
yeah,
I've already seen what happens with him in a bar.
Han's not enough trouble,
Just
man.
don't point a
Let's go.
gun at him.
Somebody's
not
going to.
nice guy. Most.
If I
That's
drank
true,
with
blower.
Han Solo and he didn't shoot somebody, I'd be bummed. Like,
Yeah.
I want to have a drink with. Oh, you go ahead, Bo.
I'm thinking Yoda.
No, oh, nice. Does he drink?
No.
I mean, he'd drink something. He wouldn't
Get that tea.
alcohol.
T, yeah.
Tea on Dagobah? I can't remember.
I mean, I just really want to hang out with C3PO. So
Wow.
can I have a drink while he like
Takes a bath.
endlessly talks?
Actually, think of this: Yoda with like sunglasses on and like one of those long straws, like a tropical cocktail kind of thing.
Yeah, I guarantee you there's a Disney Infinity pin or just a Disney pin that looks like that, man. Like there's got to be a t-shirt that Disney's made already. Like, yeah, sold.
Huber, I want you to have a conversation with C3PO about Shenmue.
Talking about the odds and stuff
Yeah,
of it actually coming out.
yeah.
I think if C3PO he would forget that he can't actually drink. He would just like down and it's like, oh no, I shouldn't have done this.
Our next question comes in from OM Huckstelter. Hey, I have to name this laser attack spell OM is making an RPG, but I can't think of a name for it. Can you all help me out by naming this spell for me? The graphic kind of just looks like a bunch of whitish yellow laser beams blasting all over the place. This laser attack spell is unique to a party member character named ZZ, who is a friendly goofball shopkeeper. He owns a general store.
Beam spray.
I really like it when like whitish yellow makes me think of holy spells, and I really like it when things are named Smite.
Star
So,
Shot.
That's my idea.
Starshot. I love it.
Sunburst.
Directionless beam.
Moon Wars.
Moon Wars.
Freaking moonbeam, dude. Get out of here.
Damiani, you got a spell name?
Trying to think of a play off words that of shopkeeper terms. Like I was like thinking of like it's a sale, it's a discount, so everything's on sale, like getting excited, throwing things out. But like, yeah, I'm trying to like put into something more tangible.
Clearance blast.
Clearance. Off the rack. Something.
Like it could be even like an angry shopkeeper. Like, you want your refund? Here's your refund. Like tossing all the coins out. It's just like, just call it refund beam or something.
Refund man.
Refundaloo.
Or no refund beam.
Refundaga.
Refundaga is my favorite so far. It's good. Next question comes in from Mithers. Sorry, Brad. Did you say something?
Nope.
No, I had one last one. It was like Scattered Thunder.
Scatter Thunder.
Next question comes in from Mithers. He says, hi, all. I finally got around to watching Fantasy 15, and I got to say it has a style of humor that no other show EZA Height produces has. I can't put my finger on it, but it's a great show that I hope continues. That being said, my mind was blown when episode 1 started and the game picked was Blaster Master, a game I sent to EZA Height many months prior. I decided it was something I would rather give to one of you instead of trying to sell and collect dust in a store when no one would buy it. This was a game I didn't expect to have a second life or 15 minutes of fame, and I don't know why, but it meant a lot more to me than I ever expected seeing it played and enjoyed, quote unquote, for that short amount of time. Considering that and many other games in that collection might never be played again, I think it triggered some weird alien emotional response. Or it was seeing Huber implode when the game started. It might have ended in a 4.1, but it was very worth it to me. I also want to address the Death Stranding lines, if you remember them. I'm pretty sure that was me mistreating my possessions as a child and not a fault of the game. Not really defending it, just wanted to clear the palate.
Nice. That's really great feedback. I love that.
Guys, we're going to be done early today because this is our last question.
Oh,
goodness. 40-minute answer. 40-minute answer.
It's a hard one.
Yeah.
Please rank the following games from best to worst: Mortal Kombat 2, Street Fighter 4, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Soul Calibur 2, and Smash Brothers Melee.
All right, one more time.
Okay, well, yeah, I went too fast there. Mortal Kombat 2, Street Fighter 4, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Soul Calibur 2, Smash Brothers Melee.
From my limited experience, I would guess Smash Brothers is better than all of that. Maybe not Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
It's hard
Those
because
are
I
my
feel like
top two.
I
Even
feel
though
like
Mortal
all these
Kombat 2
games
is
are
my favorite.
offering different things. Like there are some games I like more mechanically or visually, but then there are others that I actually enjoy playing more.
Yeah.
And so it's like kind of all over the place.
Melee is just so insane.
Smash
Melee's-
is the number one.
I probably spent the most time with Melee out of any of
Same.
them. But yeah. I'm totally okay with putting Melee at the top.
And I really loved Marvel vs. Capcom 2. That is such a beautifully such a beautiful game.
I would be okay with putting Marvel vs. Capcom 2 at number 1 or number 2 or number 3. I also think Soul Calibur 2 is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Why you
Yeah.
do Smash 1 and VC 2, and you put Soul Calibur as 3.
Sucks to put Mortal Kombat so low, but it's just
Mortal Kombat 4.
it's just so retro.
I
Right.
like Street Fighter 4 more than Mortal Kombat 2. I would rather
I think
play
that's
Street
fair.
Fighter 4 more than Mortal Kombat 2. But, you know.
I think Mortal Kombat 2 is such a dynamite sequel, but when you add it up to everything, it just gets beat.
Huber's upset.
How many?
No, I
Patron?
agree. 100% I agree.
So yeah,
Okay.
so that's Melee, Marvel vs. Capcom, Soul Calibur, Street Fighter, and Mortal Kombat 2.
Yeah, I'm cool with
Yeah.
that.
Done.
That took a minute.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this one's hard. I'd be curious to see what Kyle thinks.
Yeah, I'd love for Kyle to get that Fancy 15 sentiment too, because
Yeah.
he was instrumental in that. But you snooze, you lose.
Mm-hmm.
Really interesting collection of games there that you picked.
Yeah, I'm happy to have reference of some of them.
Well, it's interesting the individual ones that they picked because I feel like all of those are really strong representations of the series, and then Street Fighter 4 is kind of
The curveball, yeah. Street Fighter.
a
Yeah.
little bit of a curveball. Like,
Yeah, is
like
Street Fighter 2 better than Melee, Ben Moore?
No, I don't. I'd like not for in terms of history.
Yeah.
Yes. In terms of, I don't know, because Smash is weird, man, because it operates differently. Where it's like there's so much to do and there's so many things to collect, and like the way that you unlock characters, like it's a very different game than Street Fighter 2. I have more. I don't know. I respect the legacy of Street Fighter 2 so much, and it's still super fun to play. But I would probably give it to Melee.
Yeah, I'm surprised why they picked Street Fighter 4 since everything else was like the sequel,
Mm-hmm.
or roughly a sequel. Because but so I was surprised they didn't pick like Street Fighter 2. That would have like made things
It's
a lot
probably
harder.
OP or something. Because it's in our Hall of Grade.
yeah, they're all
Yeah.
twos.
Huh? Street Fighter 4 is a 2? What?
No, I mean other than 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Street Fighter 2 would have been made that a little harder.
I really like Street Fighter 4, though. A lot.
Yep.
A lot. Yeah. The style of fighting is so different because I think if this was just 2D fighters, like traditional 2D fighters, that answer would be the whole ranking would be a lot different for me. I don't know. But that's what we have right now.
Yeah. Soul Calibur and Marvel vs. Capcom are also like really different games too. So-
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I miss FADC.
Like Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter are the most easy to compare.
Okay, that's it. That's maybe the shortest Q&A we've ever had. But thank you, everybody. Thank you to our patrons, everybody that submitted a question. Next month, there will be a post. If you're a $20 and up patron, if you want to submit it, there will be a post saying when we're taking submissions. And there will be a post where you can actually submit. And then we'll, in both of those posts, we'll also hopefully tell you when the Q&A is as well. But yeah, thank you to everybody who contributed. Thank you to the lovely panel of people. Thank you, Michael Huber, Michael Damiani, Daniel Bloodworth, Sophie, the greatest of all, Brandon Jones, and Bradley Ellis. And yeah, that's going to do it for us. Thank you guys for watching us live, or if you're watching this on YouTube. Peace.
Bye.